Hello, everyone out there. Welcome back to the Meandering Conversations podcast on the Phantoms Fanatic YouTube channel. I'm back with another episode with my good old buddy, old pal Zag.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? Glad to be back on again.
Yeah, and so a few
See the
things.
longest
This
shows
is a
before
pod.
I inevitably just miss one just because I forget it's a thing, which is what I do with a lot of my hobbies, is I just forget it's a hobby of mine, and it just goes away, and you're like, well, I guess he's gone. And I come back 2 months later, like, oh yeah, that thing I like to do.
Recently, so I made the new graphic for the podcast, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, Zag, but it's in that episode
No,
we
I
did.
haven't. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I
It's pretty
haven't
much the
seen it.
same thing, but there's face cam borders in there, so you can decide whether you want to look at that or not. But I also recently redid my channel profile image and banner, and
Really.
here I'll send it over Discord.
I'm actually like going onto YouTube right now to look at to look at everything.
It's a bit of a better image than it was before. And to be honest, you'll look at the image, and I didn't even draw that. I'll explain to you what I used to get that image.
Did you like use an AI
Yep.
AI to make the image for you?
Yeah, I
Uh,
literally I literally typed in an AI generator like 50 times, like skeleton as camera, skeleton with camera eyes or something like that.
oh boy, no, I have to see this. I'm subscribed to so many channels. Where's yours?
It's an orange color, if because you're probably gonna look for the blue, so it's an orange
It's
color.
it's an orange color now. All right,
Yeah,
all right.
it's an orange color. You'd also just search the channel instead of
I'm subscribed to too many people. I just gotta look it up.
Phantoms Fanatic.
It looks like on your Oh, it updates once you click on it. When you
Yeah.
search for it, it's the first one.
Yeah, I think it's still updating because YouTube is stupid like that, so.
Uh,
So, what do you think of the new branding?
get some nice music when you're. Oh, hey, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, the new channel
Yeah,
profile image and the.
pretty nice.
Yeah,
The only thing is, it looks like
it looks like a
I'm
what?
facing away from you. I'm facing away from you on there.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's
So it's like, yeah.
well, I hate to break the suspension of disbelief, but the camera is not where the other person is in continual things with
Yeah.
this. So,
Because
yeah,
like the way that's aligned on my main monitor, also known as my television,
yeah,
um, like that's the order of which the cameras are. It's just like the camera from me on here and on the recording is flipped. So I think
well,
it's just like how Discord uploads my camera because
yeah,
like I'm guessing on your end, I'm currently pointing at the end of your monitor instead of
yeah,
in
you are.
yeah.
But yeah, so that was the new graphic I made up for that, and then I also I used AI to make the new graphic for the channel. Meandering Conversations, I'm not changing anything with that because I like the icons and stuff I have for that, so.
Yeah, I like the little intro music you got going on.
It's just something I found off a YouTube audio library, so. That's how I find most of the music I use.
That way you don't get any legal trouble for using it.
Yeah, because if it's under fair use, I can use it. But anyways, so to bring up the topic for this wondrous episode of this podcast, it's going to be speed running because in the last episode you talked about Dream, which that's
Oh,
just one
is
thing.
that what
Yeah. That's just
Oh
one part
boy.
of speedrunning.
Yeah, it is.
So I wanted to talk more about that in this episode. Because, in my personal opinion, I personally don't like speedruns where you just use a glitch to get like halfway through the level and it's like I don't find that impressive to me. It's like
Well, with some of those glitches, it takes a lot of coordination and like timing to do all of those sorts of things.
yeah, I can understand that, but for some reason it's always like if I see that, it's like, oh, okay, they're just using a glitch to just get through half of the game instead of like using more skill to like the Doom Eternal speedrun. I know half of that is literally you like flying through the air to just avoid all the sequences where you have to fight enemies, and it's like, yeah, I understand that to technically make it faster, you do that, but I find it more impressive when you use game mechanics to your fullest extent to then increase your time. Because an example that I like to use for this is you've played Black Ops 2 Origins, right?
Yeah, I've played Origins. I'm more of a buried guy myself, but Origins is pretty good.
Yeah, so you know the Mauser, the starting pistol. So when
Yeah.
you pack a punch that, it becomes like it shoots like Raygun Mark II type ammunition. And the thing is with the
Hmm.
Raygun Mark II in Black Ops 2 is it if you just spam shoot it, it like kind of pushes you back. So people to increase their time with the speedruns literally would run with the Mauser, jump and then shoot a bunch and they would get launched backwards to move faster. So like if they're running around the map trying to do stuff, they literally like jump and shoot and then go faster. So yeah.
I mean, you have to be kind of smart with how you use it, though, because there's a limit to how much ammunition you have before you just have to start clearing zombies, you know?
Yeah, but on that map you do have the staffs, and you can just fucking mow through zombies with that shit. But for some reason, I found that more impressive than just like somebody jumping and then shooting a shot like the super shotgun in Doom Eternal, then just using like the movement mechanics and like glitches to just zoom halfway through the level.
I feel like that's also probably more coordinated.
Yeah.
Instead of finding, because basically what you're explaining to me is that you prefer exploits over glitches in speedrunning.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is I.
Because with the ray gun, that's exploiting a mechanic of it, is that it knocks you back a little bit when you shoot it. Whereas with the shotgun, you're just using it to give yourself like way more momentum than you're supposed to have.
To where you can like glitch out of the map and then just zoom right
Yeah.
through. Well, it's the same thing with
So
the
what you're
sub.
telling me is I just don't think that you're a big fan of any percent.
Any person,
Any percent.
any
It's
percent.
it's a category of speedrunning where you can complete as little as possible as long as you get from start to finish.
Yeah. Or an example is like the Portal speed run. That's just knowing the levels of the game over and over again and doing it exact. There's no glitches, or at least the glitchless speed run. There's no glitches. So
Hmm.
yeah, I've played Portal too. Fun game, fun game. But I'm
Yeah,
also a
Portal's a
fuck.
great game. It's just not one of those games where I finish it because I always like the open world games where you can just not do the main quest and start running
Yeah.
around doing dumb stuff.
Well, yeah,
Like
it's
right now
like.
I'm playing through Skyrim where I'm an Argonian, which have a buff to their unarmed attacks,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a specific type of gloves. I know I'm derailing the conversation, but like I
It's
really like the
fine.
concept.
The reason why this
Uh,
is called meandering conversations.
um, what I do is I go to Riften. You've played Skyrim, right?
Not really, but go. Just.
Okay. One of the big cities is called Riften, and in under the Riften there's like the sewers. They call it the Ratway because that's where the Thieves Guild run.
Mm-hmm.
When you run around in the Ratway on underground, there's this one guy who has gloves. Which if you kill him, which he runs up to you punching you for some reason, you find out why after you kill him. It's because he's got gloves of the pugilist, which give you a +10 to unarmed attack. So what
Ah.
I do is I like it's an enchantment, so you can take
Mm-hmm.
it to an arcane. enchanter, you can de-enchant it, which destroys the item in the process, but gives you the ability to use that enchantment for any other item. Well, with the gloves, it's gloves and rings
Mm-hmm.
because it has to do with punching.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is I like to play an Argonian or a Khajiit. So they already have 10 damage to their unarmed strike. Then I go to Riften, I take the gloves, which give you another 10 to your unarmed strike. So that's 20 damage for an unarmed strike, which is base damage, pretty like medium average for like mid game, I believe. I could be
Mm-hmm.
wrong about that. But what I do afterwards is I put all of I for the rest of it I just wear heavy armor and I just crank up my levels in heavy armor because in the second level up for heavy armor, one of the second level ups for heavy armor, it lets you do your unarmed strikes get added damage for how much damage the gauntlets do. So I get really good gauntlets, level those up to do more damage, enchant those gauntlets to do even more damage, wear a ring to do even more damage, and then and I'm either an Argonian or a Khajiit to do even more damage. And to do the most damage, I crank up my enchanting. So at the end of it, I'm doing like 50, 60 damage by punching somebody. And then I just play the game punching people.
Yeah, especially in games where you
I
have
call it the cool bully setup.
stats to boost. Just like I always try to go with like a mixed bag of stats, but then there's games like fucking Castle Crashers where you just want to pump everything into magic and health because if you fucking do that, magic is the most overpowered thing in Castle Crashers. So you just use magic and then you kill everything. But then it's like with like the Elden Ring, this reminds me a bit of Elden Ring where you can just like you pump stats in that game if I'm not correct.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's like people for speedrunning would just pump like a certain amount of strength or something, and then they would just use like a shitty wooden sword, but they are just so good at the game that they just keep getting dodged. They just dodge every attack, and then they just like keep hitting him, and then they're killed, and then it's like, okay, on to the next boss.
Yeah. One thing I don't like about the Dark Souls community is how their whole thing is just get good. When it's like, sure, I can spend hundreds of hours learning how to master this game, or I could play a different game that I enjoy.
Well, I guess that's kind of the argument of like I don't know. I feel like mastering a game's mechanics is an interesting thing because it's like some games you can just sit down and chill, but it's like other games if you try to like master the game mechanics so to your full extent you can fully get a grasp of them and then like fully understand it and then you just like no matter what you do in the game, you just know how certain things are going to react. So you pretty much just a god at the game, and then you can just have fun, you know?
Yeah.
Because especially like Call of Duty Zombies, you have to playing the game more. You get more used to like how zombie movement and stuff works, so you'll be able to tell how much time you have to certain do things, or if you have enough time to reload, or if you don't have enough time to reload. That's where that's where I feel like if a game is hard but has grounded mechanics that somebody can eventually understand, then I'm fine with that. But if your game is just impossible, then fuck off.
I mean, like with Dark Souls, like I get there's like a whole like rhythm with how bosses go and how you're supposed to like follow those and react to it. So it's kind of, in a sense, sort of a rhythm combat game, which
Yeah.
I love rhythm games. It depends on the combat, like fighting game, but like still, that's a
Mhm.
really cool idea. But at the same time, the way to get those, you have to pay so much attention to it. You have to
Yeah.
like watch every single little movement and memorize everything. It's one of those games where it's trial and error instead
Yeah.
of, oh, you thought of this really cool way to do this. How about you go for it? And if it's not a cool thing to do, then it's like, oh man, that was a really dumb strategy. I guess I can try a different one. Whereas with trial and error, it's like, Oh, well, you just didn't do it right. Try it again.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, you got hit by that guy. You fucking idiot.
yeah, I definitely can see your complaint there, where some games you kind of have to play them how other people suggest that, and it's like going back to speedrunning. That's how people speedrun: is you play the game on
Yeah, you
how,
learn. Yeah, you learn like the skills that other people have
and
learned,
then
and
you
you figure
play
out
it
things about
that
the
way
game.
so you can beat the speed run. But it's like I more prefer games when you yourself can come up with different ways of playing it so you can adapt to playing it at your method, because that's a lot more interesting to me and more replayable, especially with a story game, that you can approach it from many different ways instead of just doing it the right way so you can just get everything done and have an easy gaming experience. That's why there's difficulties in games.
Yeah, which I think something that I found out about is that a lot of people are like anti game difficulty, like difficulty settings. Like they're anti. Why make the game harder? Why make the game easier? Just make the game the way it is. You know. I don't get that because it's like,
Yeah,
well,
because
somebody
multiple
who's new to the game
people.
that wants to learn the game will play it on an easier difficulty so that they can get a
Yeah.
grasp of how everything goes. And then, when they want to challenge, they'll crank that shit up.
Yeah, they get used to the game, and then you can reapproach it from a different hardness level instead of playing it
Yeah, a
at,
different difficulty.
yeah, a different difficulty. Where I just feel like with if you just had no difficulty, I feel like you just not have people enjoying your game. They would start it up, get pissed off it was too hard, or just get bored if it was too easy. So then you need to kind of find that middle ground, and that's why the different difficulties are there. Another example is Doom. It has 5 difficulties. It's like I'm Too Young to Die, Hurt Me Plenty, Violence, Ultra Violence, and then I think it's Nightmare. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've.
I don't play the Doom series. I have it on my one of my Nintendo Switches, but I haven't actually like played. Well, I'm talking about the original one.
Yeah.
I just I'm not a huge shooter guy,
Doom
you know.
Eternal, I will say it was a fun game from just a gameplay experience, but
It
I
also
had
looks
problems with the
fucking amazing.
story. Huh?
It also looks fucking amazing, like just visually. They did
Yeah.
a good job with that.
I,
Something I will say, fuck you to all of the game devs that worked on it for fucking over the audio director. Did I tell you about this last time?
no, we didn't talk about
Yeah, so
Doom Eternal
when Doom
last time.
Eternal came out
Yeah.
about 2 years ago, you know the like I forget everybody's names. There was an article that came out about the main like musician
Oh,
for
Mick
all of the
Gordon?
audio tracks. Yeah, Mick Gordon. Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
fucked him over this time. For some reason, they just didn't feel like fucking working with him and decided to just say, "Hey, do this, do that." He hasn't been paid for over half of the tracks in that game. And one of the biggest reasons why he got fucked over was because of the OST, like
Mm.
like for the shit. What am I, what's it? The OST pre-release, the pre-order bonus. You get the OST.
Original
Um,
soundtrack, yeah.
yeah, and it gets like when everybody got it, they were all like, "Oh, this sounds terrible. What the hell?" Because the audio mixing was terrible, and a lot of the tracks from the OST were ripped straight from the game instead of being the actual original tracks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
and
they have like game sounds in some of them.
yeah, and you then get audio compression, which then fucks with it, and it's like,
Yeah, and the music just sounds like shit. And they're all like,
yeah.
"Oh man!" And I, one of the lead programmers, uh, like went on to like a fan Reddit for Doom and like totally threw Mick Gordon under the fucking bus for all of that shit. And they're like, it's all his fault. He fucked with it. He did all this shit. When he didn't at all. He has receipts for every single thing that happened. He has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the reason why any of that happened. In fact, it was primarily the guy who made that post. It was primarily his fault for not being a good lead game designer
I mean, and one
because
thing about Doom, especially Doom Eternal, the music fucking shreds. Like,
yeah, it's amazing how fucking like some of the music in that game is fucking amazing and is used like regularly and listened to by a lot of heavy metal heads, you know?
yeah,
But not only was Mick Gordon like am Mick Gordon, that's his name, right?
it's Mick Gordon. It's Mick Gordon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Mick Gordon,
He he didn't get paid for over half of the tracks that he made, first off.
and they
Second
were
off, he had no gameplay to work off to start when he was making his music. Which, when you make game music, you need the music to fit the game. For like to
surprised.
see like what the tone is for that part of the game. You have to know like what tone to make your music.
And
For like, ooh,
surprisingly,
this game is trying to put this mood in, so I need to make the song like this.
yeah. And you know what?
When they told him to start working on the music, they didn't even like have any gameplay for
Just
him to work off of.
Yeah, and you want to know how good of a composer he is? Even if he didn't have any gameplay, the fucking
Yeah, he's
soundtrack
supposed to
matches
adapt.
every single scene. Like,
Yeah, he's well. It's also because he went through trial and error with it. Was because like he would send in one track and they'd be like, it's whatever. You try it again, try it again, try it again. Okay,
mm-hmm.
and then like eventually he would get some gameplay to work off, and then be like, oh, fucking, of course, this is what I would do,
Yeah.
and then it kicks ass.
Yeah. Cause
They also had another audio engineer
yeah.
working on the game for the OST, and they were basically having him go over Mick Gordon's work for like
Why?
the OST. Like, right? Right? Why? He's like that other guy was the reason why like the OST sounded like shit,
Well,
which
yeah,
they didn't need him if they gave Mick Gordon more time and weren't like being assholes. They only paid him twice throughout that entire game's like creation process.
yeah.
Once 11 months in, and then once 9 months after that,
Yeah.
which is shitty for somebody who does that for a living.
Yeah, and he literally had like a full ass like orchestra and opera for his fucking metal music, and
Exactly.
that's one of the best things about Doom Eternal, in my opinion, is its soundtrack. And the gameplay is good and the visuals are good, but my main problem with the game was its story elements. But the game was still fun to play, and his music complemented
Yeah.
every single scene.
I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that the point of a game to have fun?
Yeah.
And it's a fun game.
Well, not to big.
Music's amazing.
Not.
Story, whatever. If you don't pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to it, it's a fucking great game.
Yeah. Well, but
They also
then
put a
some story
Markiplier reference in
elements.
there, and I was really happy about that.
Yeah, but then some story elements also just kind of ruin the game for me, like Last of Us 2, because fuck that game. But
That one's like completely story based. Like the game's about the story, whereas Doom
and it's
Eternal, it's
the
like,
it
this is the story to give you a reason why you're doing this shit. Oh, whatever. I just wanted a reason. Start mowing down the fucking demons.
yeah, but yeah, and then you have but then you were saying, yeah, that's the point of a game is to have fun. Not to the big companies, it's to make a goddamn paycheck.
Yeah, but like the 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 player base has to enjoy the game you're making. That's like with some of those bigger studios, like people are starting to boycott, like Diablo. Like the Diablo series is starting to get
Oh
boycotted
yeah,
because
all
of
the
how
with
they're taking the direction of the fucking game series.
well, yeah, with the controversy of Diablo Immortal and its pay to win
Yeah,
aspects.
fucking mobile shit.
I apparently heard that the gameplay is fun, but it's just a lot of you also it's like a lot of it is behind paywalls and you have to do a lot of play like pay pay to win shit. God, I went into stroke mode. But no,
Like
it's
if
like
you're gonna give me a game and you want me to pay the money for it, just tell me how much I have to pay. Don't make me go through this part of it, and then I pay to get through another part of it, and then I pay to get through another part of it. Because you're just gonna get more money out of me. I get that. That's your goal, but at the same time, I'm not gonna fucking like it.
Yeah,
And
but
then like
then
after a little bit, it's gonna be like, oh, I'm tired of this. I'm just gonna stop fucking playing. And then bam, you just lost a player.
and then the developers are like, well, you can technically get this stuff for free, but you have to dump a million hours into the game to do that. And it's like, I'm not gonna stay up for 7 nights straight just to get a special gem in a video game that boosts my power to tenfold so then I
Yeah.
can just be at the top. Because
I mean, like,
apparently,
shit. You might as well just start putting ads in your fucking game. That way, you don't need your players to pay for the game. The advertisers will do all of it.
well, I swear I've heard somewhere that somebody dumped like 50,000 into like they dumped like $50,000 into that game to try to unlock something.
And they didn't get it.
Yeah, no, they did. No, they got it, but then they immediately scrapped it. And it's like, you spent $15,000 on the game, and then you go like, you know what? Just to show how bad this game's luck is, I'm also just gonna get rid of it. And I'm like, well, you just wasted that 15 grand. Nothing's gonna change.
If you want to win money, at least throw some my way.
Well, no, because he was trying to do this whole protest thing where it's like, listen, uh, this video game is like, this video game is,
Original topic. Now we're just talking about video game pet
yeah,
peeves.
no, right here, right here, right
Just
here.
one more issue.
Hold on, I literally just found the article. Listen, we can change topics all we want. It's called Meandering Conversations for a reason.
Before we start the episode, we're gonna do speedrunning topics. Talk about it for like 5-6 minutes. Go off on a tangent. Now we're talking about game pet peeves.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. A Diablo Immortal player spent 15,000 getting a rare gem and then destroyed it in a protest. And it's like, you still spent the money doing that. Like,
Yeah, that's a huge fucking waste. Like, I get you're trying to prove a point. I'm one of those people that like will do whatever it takes to get a point proven, but that's a step too far. I wouldn't spend that like fucking 50, maybe $15 just to prove a point, not 15.
wait, no,
grand.
wait, hold on. He spent more than $15,000 trying to obtain a rare 5-star gem. It said that. Oh, okay, never mind. I misread this because it was New Zealand dollars translated to America. So I thought that it said he spent $25,000, but no, it's 25,000 New Zealand trans.
25,000 New Zealand dollars.
Yeah,
That's still 25,000 New Zealand dollars.
Yeah, but to American money, it transfers to almost 16 grand, and it's like, why the fuck do that? And then he immediately deleted his character and account and everything, and it's like, you still wasted that
It
money.
doesn't matter what your opinion is about the game. Money is what talks.
Yeah, and you still gave them the money.
Yeah, you gave them way more. You could have, like, you just gave them the money for like 100, maybe even 1,000 people, just by yourself. That's like 1,000 people saying, "Yeah, we love this game," instead of your one person being like, "This game blows."
Let me show you all on how bad this game is.
Game night to show you how blowy this game is.
And then he's like, see how bad this game is? It ruined my life. I'm now in debt and I can't get back. So please support me now or else I'm dead.
For me to make progress, I had to sell my 2 children to slavery.
Yeah. I had to sell my wife to prostitution and, even I had to go prostitute.
Like, leave me.
But no, the complete null and voidance of this. is that he was trying to
I
make a
already gave
point.
my dog to eat this morning. I
But no,
can't eat for another week now.
I just still can't believe that he did this to all make a point, but he still paid the game exactly what they wanted from him, and he got none of the
Yeah,
satisfaction from it.
yeah. That's
Like, why did you think that's a smart idea?
That's just fucking stupid.
I know. Listen, man, what's the speed run through life? A 9 millimeter slug to the brain?
Yo, dude, fucking
That's-
total life 8% speed run. Shit. Immediately get bored. Starts running over to the electrical outlet.
it just.
It just jams it in.
Listen, the 0% speed run to
You
life
don't
is
even have to
easy. The
use
100% speed run to life is harder.
Yeah, 100% speedrunning life. That's a crazy fucking. You know how much time that takes? It's a really
Yeah.
time-consuming task to any person to do 100% life. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. You know what I did? The weirdest thing also occurred to me when I was thinking about speedrunning is, are there speedruns for like the FNAF games? I'm not talking about Security Breach, but I'm talking about the other ones.
Yeah, there's speedruns for every single one of those games.
But how does that? I thought
If you
each
get a
night.
menu navigation,
Yeah, but I thought like each night is always a set amount of time. Each night is always
yeah.
only a couple of minutes at most. So it's like,
Well, I mean, like the early games, you can kind of fuck with them, you know?
yeah, you fuck the
The,
animatronics,
they,
yeah.
like the speed running isn't very popular. What they do is challenges for those games instead, generally.
It's just
Because speed
navigating the
running is
menu.
almost, huh?
It's just navigating the menu to click on to the next night.
Well, I mean, like if you're playing through the story, it's like, okay, game's open, game's open, okay, and then like like the fucking speed run starts when the game opens up. All right, start timer. Click on the fucking new game.
Yeah.
Play through all the nights.
Yeah, but it's always going to be around the same amount of time because
Yeah.
each night is like 6 or 7 minutes. I don't know what the math
I could
compute.
also be talking out of my ass right now. I'm gonna check speedrun.com.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that there was FNAF speedruns. It's fucking I keep
Yeah, I
accident.
definitely wouldn't be surprised either. I know Security Breach is a really popular
Well, yeah, because
speedrun.
that's like a
Like,
full-fledged like
that's
story horror game.
yeah,
So
you
it's
can
like,
actually control how fast the day goes.
yeah.
All right,
You're
different
my
games.
superstar,
Yeah.
Gregory. You ever think it's weird that Freddy You ever think it's weird that Freddy is super friendly to Gregory, a child?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
You're
There- there-
my
there's,
superstar.
there's, oh my God, the fucking trolls, like the joke games that they like jam in between some of the releases.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
it's at
Five
every
Nights at
single.
Fuckboys.
No, that's a fan game. These are non-canon, like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're like all around. They're all like 45 minutes.
Yeah, because that's what they would be.
Yeah.
It's not like they would be long.
45 minutes, 23 seconds, 940 milliseconds. That's 40 milliseconds faster than
Because he clicked a menu 40 milliseconds faster than the other guy did. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
fucking
What if there's
awesome.
like
I
a
love that.
a speed run for like Bloons Tower Defense 6 where it's like try to get to round that's probably a thing. Get to round 100 as
Yeah,
fast as you
that's
can.
almost definitely be a thing. I have it up right now. You just BTD Blues Tower Defense. Like, which one are we talking? Six,
6.
4, 2, 3, 5. The
Love how you
original.
said that in the most backwards way ever. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, I mean, like that's just the order that shows up.
I said 6.
I just wrote it in order. Like Blues Tower Defense 6. Individual level speed runs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's individual level speed runs for each difficulty.
Ah, okay.
The easy difficulty, the world record is 4 minutes 39 seconds.
Till round
For
100, I'm
Arisu,
assuming.
who has like a fuck ton of the world records. I just noticed.
The same person.
Yeah, the same person. There's like two, three. There's four different people that show up for every single level, every single difficulty, from what I can see right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, there's a couple more on some other random ones. Logs seems to be. No, I'm sorry. A covered garden is a very competitive one. It looks like.
A cupboard garden.
Oh, the Germans and the UK in here. Damn, this is like a multi-national thing.
Yeah. Wars were plagued over Bloons tower defense, man.
Look at that.
Oi, love, you be messing with me balloons.
Oh, you've been messing with my balloons.
You be
Oh, you're
messing with
so
my
pretty.
balloons and my monkeys.
You've been messing with my poppers.
You good old pop on the nop and snopping with my copper nop. Oi, you better stop that there. I don't know why I'm turning into John Lennon, but he's British, so I guess it works. He's a singer for the Beatles.
I know what the fucking Beatles are. I just had a brain fart. It was written in fucking England, and I remembered it the same fucking thing.
Britain and England?
Britain is part of
What
England,
country
but
are
he's
you
from
from? I'm
England.
from England. The Brits. Speaking of Brits, I got my sonic screwdriver. This not a dildo, it's a sonic screwdriver.
Grew up in Woolton, a Liverpool suburb.
Liverpool is England. Britain
Oi,
or
Paul. We gotta talk a little bit more about our. We gotta talk a little bit more about coming together.
what? Why did I thought at first I was like he kind of sounds like the Godfather, but then he kind of sounds like Yogi Bear, and I couldn't
Hey
tell where
man,
he
my
was.
voice impressions aren't. Oi, boo boo.
Oi, boo
My voice
boo!
impressions
How
aren't in
about
on
that
today, man.
picnic basket?
Look, I don't know how to fucking talk like them, but if he gave me a song, I can fucking sing it exactly like them. I won't on the podcast for copyright reasons, but
John Lennon, we're bigger than Jesus. We're the Beatles. Kind of sounds like Johnny Depp. If I were to have to explain how John Lennon sounds. He's the
anyways,
greatest
back to
part I've
speedrunning.
ever seen.
Actually, wait a minute. On the topic of the Beatles, I did it's more of a challenge, not a speed run.
Mm-hmm.
Where I played through the entire set list for the Beatles Rock Band. But I played it on Clone Hero. I downloaded every single track, including DLC, and I
Mm-hmm.
put it onto Clone Hero. And one of the mechanics of Clone Hero is that you can speed up or slow down a song.
Yeah.
So I would speed up songs to how fast I could beat them, and I was going to beat every single song. I got
How
a
fast you
time
could
of
beat?
you know, viewers at home, just give a really loud round of applause for Phantom Fanatic for his amazing joke right there. I thought I'd make a call out to the audience instead of laughing, because I forgot to initially.
Well,
Everybody just make a really loud round of applause. If anybody's watching, you watched this, or just around your general area, by doing this, make sure
they're
it's as
out.
loud as
They're
possible.
they're out at like a fucking subway, just like.
Somebody's on a subway and they're just fucking going crazy.
Woo!
Subway are like, well, I mean, it's not anything I haven't seen.
Yeah, but speaking of rhythm games, can you speed run those? Like,
Actually, yeah. It's again a lot of menu navigation, but
um,
Guitar Hero 3 was a little heavily speed ran when it was popular.
oh, I guess that would more be like a world
Oh man,
record
I can't believe my
situation.
phone at like
Whoever had the
fucking
most
50
points.
frames a second, dude. Holy shit. My internet's not holding up too well.
Yeah, but as I was saying, the I guess it would be more of a world record to see who would get the most points in a rhythm game because it's not.
Yeah, that's actually still really competitive. Like
Hmm.
even today.
Well, yeah, because I play
Uh,
fucking Beat Saber on my Oculus, and it's
I
like,
played Beat Saber a couple times. I was like, this is not as bad as I thought it would be.
yeah,
Cause like it's all you're like, holy fuck, and you gotta like slap shit and make sure you're slapping it in the right direction. But
dude,
like I can play on hard, and I've played for 2 hours,
I know, and
ever.
dude, you get fucking winded if it's like if you play on like
Yeah,
expert, you
yeah,
literally have
and
to be like,
yeah, when you get into it, you're like all over the fucking place.
and dude, I've
I,
seen,
I had Powell next to me when I was doing that shit, so that I could fucking like
I've,
make sure to keep the sweat off of the
yeah, the
keep
visor
my
for the
sweat off of the
Oculus.
Oculus.
I've also
Yeah,
the
because
same
that shit.
situation happened with Super Hot. When I would play that, I would be like,
What I really like doing was running around in fucking Gorilla Tag.
no, I don't think I've heard of that one.
It was a meme at one point, but it's like a really low poly game where you play as a gorilla and you use your arms to like run and jump around. And it has mic support, so you can talk to other people in lobbies.
Yeah.
Um, but I wouldn't turn it on. I would just be a mute gorilla. And whenever somebody like some random like fucking 9-year-old would run up to me, like he'd be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then I'd just like wave. And
Yeah.
then like they'd be like, "Oh, can you talk?"
No.
So I'm basically playing the way I communicate in Gorilla Tag is basically fucking charades.
Just when you're like when a person
Got
asks,
3 fingers.
it's like, how do you describe the situation we're in? You do this for like we're fucked.
Yeah, because you only have 3 fingers, you still have a middle finger. So instead of pointing with like your, what would be your thumb or your pinky, you'd be just like shooting your middle finger out everywhere. So
We
you
just
just
we're fucked. We're fucked.
fuck you, fuck you.
Oh, god damn
It's
it.
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because you can type in like any. When it comes to the codes, it's literally like words you can for lobbies. So
Yeah.
if you want to join a lobby, you just like type in something random like uh there's no censor fuck but then there'd be people
Yeah.
there.
But no, so back to Beat Saber though, as I was saying, I've seen people play like fucking Freebird on that shit, and it's like when it gets to the solo where it's like the
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
how can even when I try just the bass normal tracks on expert, I fucking can't keep up with it because I'm just like it's like
Fun fact about Freebird and rhythm games. In Guitar Hero 2, Freebird was sort of like how Through the Fire and Flames
yeah.
got popular because of Guitar Hero 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Freebird was basically the Through the Fire and Flames of Guitar Hero 2, even though there was another track that was more difficult, which was
Yeah.
Jordan by Buckethead,
Yeah.
which is still considered on Engine to be the most difficult Guitar Hero song of all time. But
Ah.
Freebird was a really fucking tough song to play. So when you would get to that, it's the last song of the career mode.
Yeah.
Whereas Jordan is like an extra song that you can buy with in-game money that you get from playing through the career mode.
Mm-hmm.
It was the last song. And it would literally give you an option to not fucking play it. because at the time it was the most difficult Guitar Hero chart in the career modes of any Guitar Hero game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't realize and they made Jordan way fucking harder. Because it would literally give you a warning saying, "Hey, you don't have to do this one. You can just win." Like, and
Yeah.
then you go like, "No, I want to play it." They would double down, say, "Are you sure you want to play Freebird by Leonard Skinner?"
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 2 was all covers, so they didn't actually have how difficult the song really was in Guitar Hero until Guitar Hero, I think, like Smash Hits. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
They didn't have the actual like Leonard Skinner track. They did a cover for it for Guitar Hero 2.
Yeah.
Whereas in Smash Hits, they did the original Leonard Skinner track. And it's more difficult not only because that engine's somehow more fucking jank than Guitar Hero 2,
Yeah.
but it's like some of the patterns are more complicated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you speaking about the engine being more difficult, that just reminds me when I went back to go not went back, but I went so 2020 hit.
Hmm.
I then played a lot of the Resident Evil games because they were just solo games that I could just grind, and the Resident
Oh, are
Evil
we
2
talking about the
remake.
remaster? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, no, the remake. I've played the Resident Evil 2 remake, and that was fucking amazing. I loved it.
Remake, remaster. There's like almost no difference.
Yeah.
Almost. There are a couple.
Yeah, and then I played the 3 remake, but then I went back then I played 4, and I fucking hated my life for playing 4 because them trying to adapt that janky system to a modern controller, and it's like you have to then also I have to switch my mindset from what it was from Resident Evil 2 and 3 into that, and I couldn't play it cuz it's always the same thing with those older games. It's like when you're aiming, it just feels like you can't aim at all because you have to like press two things in and then you aim with like one stick and the other stick or something like that. Or it's like the opposite stick that you would normally aim with is the aiming stick, and I fucking hate it.
Oh, that's fucking gross. So they basically turned tank controls
Yeah.
into like a backwards Black Ops.
Yeah, it's dude.
That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I fucking
Just
hated it.
implement analog. Just implement analog. Like they've been doing it for so many games at that point. Why not just
Well, no,
fix that part of it?
Resident Evil 4 has analog sticks. It's just that the stick it doesn't work very well. It's really annoying to play analog with Resident Evil 4 at least. For me it was cuz the only
Yeah.
other ones I played were 2.
Unpopular opinion. I
Hmm.
don't like Resident Evil 5.
I I haven't even played. I know that's one of the more action orientated ones and people don't have the
Yeah, that was when I was like, yeah, I don't like Resident Evil 5 because they changed that shit.
To be honest, I've only played the
Revelations
newer ones, but
came
all
out
the
for
newer ones I've
3DS.
played I've loved.
Yeah.
Probably my
Do you know
hmm.
Revelations?
No, never played that
Resident
one.
Evil Revelation. Well, it was one of the games that came out on a bunch of shit in 3DS, and that's how actually that's how I realized how because Revelations is more like Revelations is closer to the original kind of Resident Evil
Yeah, where it's the
than it
fixed
is
camera
like the modern
perspective.
version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where it has like the overtop like per room. At
Yeah.
least I remember it being like that. I could be totally fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Because I played it back when I was like fucking 10.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 8 years ago. Um, but like was when I realized how good like the original kind of Resident Evil was because I only had the demo for it, but I still had like a fuck ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really enjoyed that version. Fucking hated with fucking demos for 3DS was that for almost every single demo, besides I think like one or two of them, you had a limited amount of times you could play the demo.
What the fuck? Usually today you just play like the
Yeah,
first level and then you're cut off,
exactly.
which that's
And
the
then,
fair
then
way
it's
of
like,
doing a
okay, well,
demo.
I mean, you can play through the first level again, I guess, or you could buy the actual game. But no, like with 3DS demos, it was you play through the game up to this point. Like where what most demos are like.
But you only have a certain
And then
amount
it's
of
like, all
time.
right, good, cool, you're done. It closes the game, and your counter goes from anywhere from 15, either 15 or 30. It would go down one, and that's how many times you can play up to that point again, until
Yeah.
you can't play it at all anymore. I
Listen, if
was
you
like,
want to
dude, I
play
really
our
like that demo.
game,
It was like the bite-sized version of the game.
listen, if you want to play our game, you gotta go suck off a deb and go buy the game. Get all the money that you
Look,
want.
bro, I think I understand that you really appreciate these early parts of the game, but you really gotta start playing through the later levels. But
Yeah,
the only way to play through the later levels is if you purchase the rest of the game.
you gotta
So
purchase
that's
our
gonna be
game.
$60.
No, now base games are $70, which I'm still mad about, but
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's only PlayStation.
yeah.
Base games are 70 for like PlayStation and I think some Xbox games, but Nintendo Switch is stuck to their $60 model. I could
Yep.
be wrong about that. I've not a game in a while. I've been playing through a lot of Skyrim.
Yeah. I've just been playing Modern Warfare 2, so that's all I've been playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good games though, good games.
Yeah, but speedrunning's cool. Like sometimes it's also just like such a different like level.
We go full circle.
Well, no, because there was something else I wanted to comment on with speedrunning is that like where people sometimes like they don't get the perfect thing, so literally they have to restart their playthrough like 15 times. It's just like how do you find that entertaining? It's like, oh, one thing is wrong, restart. Oh, one thing is wrong, restart. Oh, I missed one thing, restart. It's like,
I think it's just human nature. I think
yeah.
it's just human nature that we naturally just want to optimize everything as much as we can. Like, have you ever gotten annoyed um, with a game because in the middle of one of your quests you have to go through a loading screen for no reason because you're entering something that's already like almost completely loaded in,
Mm-hmm.
but they have you go through a loading screen anyways? Doesn't that annoy the shit out of you?
Yeah.
How about games where you choose whether to run or to sprint, which is faster? And
Mm-hmm.
at any point you can possibly do that, you decide to sprint instead of run.
Yeah.
And that's just human nature. Like
Mm-hmm.
naturally, we just optimize these as much as we can.
Yeah, but if it's like one little mistake that'll cost them like 1 millisecond, they'll restart their entire run.
Well, they're not on pace anymore.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, I understand that's why people do speedrun is for that kind of crap. But I just couldn't play like that because if I restarted that many times, I just wouldn't want to play the game anymore. I would just get pissed and then
Yeah.
stop playing. Well, yeah, and then
Oh,
just some games like Pokemon. I know with Pokemon like Silver, is it? No, the second Pokemon game, wouldn't you pick Totodile because you could just wipe the entire game with him? Play through the entire game with that one Pokemon?
well, yeah, and you can also learn almost every single HM, which by the time you need to replace some of those HMs, you can go to a move deleter and replace them.
Yeah.
Either that or you'd catch something easy and then you just breeze through it with that, which can learn the rest of the HMs. Which I'm
Mhm.
glad that in some of the later games they've gotten rid of HMs
Mhm.
to like to where like you're blocked off this sort of area because of HMs, but you don't need to teach it to your Pokemon anymore.
Yeah. Where it's like the things where you have to like, there's a rock here, so you have to break it, and then.
Yeah, and then you had to teach one of your Pokemon how to break the rock instead of just like with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the remakes for Gen 4. They just were like, okay, press a button,
Yeah.
and then some fucking wild Pokemon walks over and just fucking breaks it for you, and then you just walk past. But you still have to unlock it by going through these. by going through the gyms.
Yeah.
That way you have access to everything else once you're allowed access to it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, if they didn't have any of those blocks, you'd be going through the game way faster, and
Yeah.
you would be going past a bunch of the story. Everything would be out of order. That's
Yeah.
why they do that.
Mm-hmm. And then that you have to plan that through speedrunning and stuff like that. So yeah, I find
Yeah.
those type of games with speedrunning pretty interesting, especially Pokemon. So that's interesting to me.
Gen 1 is really interesting for speedrunning because there's the 0 seconds, there's the 0 minute speed runs where you try to beat the game in 0 minutes as fast as possible. Because there's a
How?
glitch
Oh.
um, with the in-game timer.
Okay.
Um, with I forget what it's called, arbitrary code. Uh, Basically they fuck with the code of the game and they make
Yes.
it so that you can throw around a bunch of shit in your inventory, which don't exist and are actually just the lines of the code. You move shit
Mm-hmm.
around, and then like all of a sudden you have like fucking all every single Pokemon in your party, even though you're only allowed to have like six. You go through all of those, get some of the glitch Pokemon, start interacting with those, moving around. It's a lot of inventory management.
Yeah.
And then eventually, after all that, you just automatically get warped to the end of the game, and you've beaten the game in 0 minutes.
So it's like putting in the Konami code: up, down, left, right, B, A.
It's up, up, down, down,
Left.
left, right, BA, and then either start or select start if you're playing two player.
Okay, it's the Konami code. Like I give a crap.
It's one of the most influential things in gaming. What the fuck? If you're gonna
What
bring it
did
up, at
even?
least bring
What
it up
game was
correctly.
that even for, and what did it even do? Because I didn't
Literally
even.
every single early generation Konami game.
Yeah.
Contra, fucking Gradius. No. Yeah,
Well, but what did it do?
Gradius, Palladius, like a bunch of shit.
Oh.
And you would put that in, and then you would get a fuck ton of lives, or you'd start with every single power up. It was dependent game on game. But one thing you knew for certain was that when you played one of those early Konami games, you would be able to do that. It was kind of like early game Easter eggs.
Yeah. Well, I remember in Ready Player One they mentioned the first Easter egg. The what the fuck was it? I don't know. Some game. The guy left his name in there.
Oh yeah, in an Atari game, I forgot what it was called, but
Yeah, I forgot that as
around that time
well.
they didn't actually like around that time you weren't really allowed to put like credits into games. It wasn't it wasn't commonplace like it is nowadays.
Yeah.
So this guy snuck his name into it with a bunch of fucking room entering shit where you had to enter a bunch of rooms, grab different items, and then go back to one room in a specific order, and then bam, his name would show up.
Yep. How do you how do they do speed running in Ready Player One? Let's
Yeah,
speed
that's
run
actually
this.
really interesting. How would you do that in Ready Player One?
Let's speed run to see who can get the keys first.
You want to know what I want to know? Have you ever heard of a movie called The Wizard?
No.
It was a gaming movie that was made around the time of Super Mario Brothers 3 for the NES.
Oh, Chris Pratt, it was in it.
Unfortunately, no. Did you see that they made a new trailer for that movie though?
No, I have not seen the new
I'm so
trailer.
fucking excited. Yeah, there's two trailers out now, and I think I honestly think that movie's gonna be
Does
fantastic.
does
But
Charlie
with the
Day
Wizard,
voice Toad?
somehow the Wizard was basically a movie that was basically just an advertisement for Super Mario Brothers 3
Uh,
for the NES. And in the movie, even though this game literally just came out, somehow in this game contest, the kid knew about the warp whistle,
yeah.
which was a secret. And that was how they figured out that there were warp whistles in the game, and that's how people found out that there are warp whistles in that game. You know, to move you further along in the game to get it done as fast as possible.
Yeah, so you
Speed
can get
running.
speed running. Yeah.
What I'm curious about is if that game just fucking came out, how did the one dude that told the kid that there are warp whistles, how did he know that they were in the game if the game hadn't come out yet?
Well, because I mean, even this just reminds me of like how sometimes people can just find the weirdest shit in games. Cause
Yeah.
Because all of my evidence that points towards this is the fucking Call of Duty Zombies Easter eggs. When I follow the steps for doing those, I'm like, how the fuck do people find this out? I'm like, thank God I'm not the only player who plays this game, because I would not be able to figure this Easter egg out.
Yeah. I
'Cause-
mean, a lot of people like look into the code for these games because nowadays a lot of popular games get released on PC as well, where you can just very easily like dump the game, see all of the code for it. Basically, if your game releases on PC, people are gonna figure out every single nook and cranny about the game, and then figure out how these things work together, and that's how they
yeah.
find all the Easter eggs.
Wasn't that a thing with Overwatch 2 recently? Is that somebody was like trying to break through all the like image files in there and then they like got through. I don't know. I remember hearing something about that, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Speaking of people breaking into shit, did you know that recently? Do you keep up with I'm going to assume no, but have you kept up with some of the shit that's been going on with Roblox?
No. Oh wait, the oof noise thing. No, that
Oh,
was
that's something completely different. 100,000 players that played Roblox just got their accounts hacked.
oh, not my
Like, I think
Robux.
3 or 4 days ago. Dude,
Mom.
that translates to real money. Roblox literally has what is essentially a stock market.
Well, yeah, and I recently just heard about the Roblox oof thing, even though that was a while back now. But it was
Yeah.
like,
But people had a browser extension
mm-hmm.
that would let you search up player names in Roblox, and everybody was trusting it. And then out of nowhere, the devs who used that broke into, hacked, and stole 100,000
Robux.
I- accounts, which had varying numbers of Robux, probably
But you
like
can't
around a
trade you
million.
can't trade Robux out for real money, or can you? I don't no fucking clue on how that
There
works.
are some exchanges, man. There are some
Well, yeah, I just
back-end
realized
exchanges.
there's Bitcoin and bullshit like that. So,
Yeah. Also, I mean, Roblox will pay developers in teams that make Roblox games
mm-hmm.
via Robux because of Roblox purchases that they put into the game. They get a cut of that, and then Roblox themselves turns the Robux back into actual money,
Yeah.
and then they get actually Roblox gets a majority of it, and then the devs get like fucking I think like 30%.
10% or
They get like jack shit.
surprising that it's 30% because that's a lot more fair than you would think it would be.
No, fuck, no, that is not fucking fair at all,
Yeah.
dude. The regular like split for like shit like that is like 70-30 in the favor of the person who made the fucking thing, and
Yeah.
30 for the person who provided the service.
Well, games like Roblox and
Roblox, I'm pretty sure
Gmod.
like fucking flipped that on its head.
Yeah, I mean, games like Gmod and Roblox, the base game is nothing. It's a sandbox, and then you just make
Yeah.
other things with it.
Well, the way I look at it, Roblox isn't really a game, more so a hub for games.
Yeah.
It gives you tools to make games, but like you can't like play Roblox. You use Roblox to make tools to let
Well,
other people
that's
play it,
very
but
similar
they
to
call
Gary's
Roblox.
mod, though. Like, but Gmod you can play sandbox and just fuck around in there, but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, just make dick rockets and airships, fly around, crash people.
Do what Colin was doing. Like when we were podcasting the I think podcast before this one.
The podcast before the one before this one.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he was on. We're talking about Home Alone shit. Preventing people from robbing your house.
Yeah.
He was doing dumb shit on Gmod the entire time.
Yeah, but I was about to say, is there any like speed runs with Gmod? And I'm like, probably not. But then I was like, well, there are speed runs for games like Power Wash Sim, but that's also like you're cleaning a thing as fast as you
Yeah,
can.
there's all like with Power Wash Sim, there's an end goal.
Yeah.
That's basically what you need for a game if you want to speedrun it, is you need an end goal.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's in the game or it's something that can be made to be a thing in the game, like let's say Minecraft didn't have any bosses.
Yeah.
Like maybe their speedrun would be like get one of every mob or
Yeah.
like get one of every block.
See, yeah, and I was questioning like maybe with like a game, you know, Slime Rancher, right?
I know of it, yeah.
See, like, what would be the speed run for that? Because technically, you get the end
Collect
credits
every
in.
slime.
Yeah, but it's also like you get the end credits by just like clicking a button a bunch. Because if you sleep more, you get notes, and then eventually you hit the end credits. But no, probably, yeah, getting every slime would
Either getting
probably.
every slime or doing what you said
Yeah.
just as fast as possible.
That would just be like, just like. Just click, click, click,
I
click, click,
feel
click,
like
click.
collecting every slime thing would be a lot more popular, but I feel like those two would both be categories for speedrunning.
Yeah, but like it's so funny just to imagine a guy like they act like a speedrun. They're like, okay, we're starting now. Just click, 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 click. Like,
Actually, I wanted to bring this up because I brought it up a little bit before we started doing the podcast. I need to pull up a document because I have a Google document for my personal best time. There it is. My
mm-hmm,
personal best time uh playing through the first level, like the first course in Golf.
mm-hmm.
Uh Hole in one, you're allowed to jump, but you have to go through all 18 holes as fast as you can. Hole in one, jumps allowed. Otherwise, I think with a couple of them you can't actually do a hole in one.
Yeah,
My personal best right now is 5 minutes 56 seconds, 890 milliseconds
damn.
for all 18 holes.
Yeah, I'm not the type of person to like speedrunning because it's also just not the way I play games. I play it
Yeah.
like taking breaks
I'm
and
with Golf
literally.
It. Like, I don't have fucking friends to play Golf It with, so I
Yeah.
just play it by myself.
But no, it's like I play games by like just, you know, playing the game casually, having fun, you know, progressing through the story, enjoying each thing. And the one time I like tried to do a speed run, I was like, this just feels so off to play a game like this. I can't.
I actually
Like,
also tried a speed run, like an official speed run.
no,
Uh,
not an official, but
you
it
know
was
Terraria, right?
yeah.
Uh,
But speaking of golf it or no, it was golf
but
with friends. So,
Terraria. Um,
yeah, but going to
just
golf with
lady. No.
Going to golf with friends, I always remembered that I would just use the jumping mechanic in like the cheapest ways because if it was like a level that had like a underneath section, I would literally just go jump, almost get right by the hole in one, and then one of my friends would be like, "You can't do that. It's against the rules. You know, you got to actually try to play the course like it is." And I'm like, "They have jumping as a default setting in the game. I'm gonna use jumping."
Right?
See, we should design golf balls that jump. You press a button on your golf club, boom. I don't think that's possible. Well, it probably is possible, but not to that level.
It was on speedrun.com. There was basically for Terraria. There's, I think, like 15 fucking bosses now, maybe more. I
Mm-hmm.
have I need to count again, but there. I can't find it right now, but I'm pretty sure there are still like specific boss speed runs where you would get to this, you would
Mm-hmm.
do this. as fast. You would kill this boss as fast as possible from like start to boss.
Yeah.
Random seed.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the best. I went for a Wall of Flesh speed run.
Mm-hmm.
Wall of Flesh is the gateway between pre-hard mode and hard mode. Um, if you kill him, your world goes from pre-hard mode, which there's like you're pretty limited, to
Mm-hmm.
a hard mode where you're back at the beginning of the food chain, even though you have all of this shit that you got in pre-hard mode. Now there's way more shit you can deal with,
Yeah.
way more bosses. I fucking love Terraria, but
Never
tried
played it.
doing a I tried doing the Wall of Flesh 80% random seed. And if I submitted what I got for my run, because I did it blind.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know any of the strats or anything. I did the entire speedrun blind.
Yeah.
I did the entire thing. I played Terraria Journey mode, which lets you use God mode, which means you don't take damage.
Yeah.
Journey mode, God mode, random seed, Wall of Flesh, any percent.
Yeah.
I did that in, I think, almost 11 minutes, which, if I'm not mistaken, would have put me, at that point in time, it would have put me in 7th in the world, because there were only 11 people that did it and submitted their thing. So I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, shit, I'm in the top 10.
Top
But
10.
I
Woo.
can't find it anymore.
Yep. But we're getting to the point where I'm gonna call this soon because I got other stuff to do. But just for one last
Yeah.
send off, is what is your favorite type of speed run to? What do you think is the most impressive game to speed run?
The most impressive game to speedrun.
Yeah.
I would go for one of the generic answers and be like, oh, well, obviously it's Super Mario Bros. Yes, which that's really fucking technical.
Mhm.
And like there's level skips built in. They do next to no glitches besides glitches that just make you move faster.
Yeah.
You still have to beat all of the like base levels, but I think the most technical game, personally, like the most impressive speedrun, uh, I personally think that that's actually Super Mario 64 any percent.
Yeah.
Specifically Zero Star, because Zero Star is fucking difficult.
Yeah. If I were to pick one, mine is just Call of Duty Zombies speed runs because I always find those so impressive to how, because I love zombies. Zombies is probably one of my favorite modes in COD, and I just absolutely love the amount of just skill and like thought provoking that has to go into that so then they can work around the scenario and then just edge off time by doing little things like the Mauser thing on Origins, or just being as precise as you can, knowing each and everything to the back of their hand so they can get it all done precise. I always think that's so impressive to me. As someone who
Yeah.
plays zombies and knows Easter eggs, some of them, and I have to always use a guide, it's impressive as fuck to see people just do a step that would take me 30 minutes, just like 2 minutes. Like, that's always so impressive to me.
Yeah. I think just in general, like almost every single speedrun that you see, like especially if you look at the top level, like world record, close to world record, a lot of the speedruns, like once they get developed, once they have like their notable like any percent glitch,
Yeah.
that shit looks fucking crazy as an
Yeah.
outsider.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just
Yeah.
round of applause to all the speedrunners out there
Even though
doing
I
your
personally
speedrunning
don't like playing
and
games like that,
running in
I
a
will
very
still give
speedy
you
way.
a round of applause. You guys deserve as much pussy in the world for doing that, so
Hell
um
yeah.
yeah, they
Another round of
definitely
applause
get
to all
it.
the pussies.
Imagine imagine putting that on a dating profile. I came in
Hey,
7th in the
pussy.
Terraria world record.
For monster truck overdrive.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be it for this podcast. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe down below, and share and favorite the channel as you seem fit.
Yeah, guys, I subscribed. You do it too.
Yeah, if you have any other podcast topics or things you guys want us to talk about, leave those in the comment section. Also, if you have any thoughts about speedrunning or the gaming shit we talked about in this episode, make sure to leave those in the comment section. And yeah, you have any final thoughts?
I mean, it'd be nice if you guys checked out my channel too. It's Zag, Z-A-G. It recently got changed to that not too long ago. Um, Still working on stuff to upload, but
Definitely go check that out. Listen, if you guys don't go check that out, I'm going to come into your house and I'm going to find you.
Whoa. You're threatening people. I was gonna say, if you don't watch it, you're cringe, but okay. That works too.
Listen, if you don't watch it, I'm gonna come for you. Okay, well, anyways.
Your house, break in, hide in your closet, break out of your closet when your lease is back, call you cringe, smoke bomb out of there.
The smoke bomb doesn't go off, stands there awkwardly, then just punches you and then runs off. Anyways, yeah, see you guys later.